You know that feeling when someone talks down to you, interrupts you, acts like you're disposable? Now imagine this. The same person has to report to you, watch you get an office, an assistant, a promotion, and the only thing you give them back? Cold, calm, professional silence. Because sometimes the most painful revenge is success they can't touch. If you've ever been disrespected at work, undermined by someone who thought they were better than you, or dreamed on the kind of revenge that doesn't get you fired, hit like, subscribe, and settle in, because this story isn't about yelling, sabotage, or drama. It's about winning so hard that your enemy breaks themselves watching. The beginning, when things were easy. When I first started at the organization, everything felt light. It was a small nonprofit, about 50 people total. My team was even smaller, just 7 of us. I was part-time handling fundraising. Janie, 43, sharp elbows, loud confidence, worked full-time in administration. We shared an office. At first, it was good. We joked about weekend plans, talked about bad TV shows, shared snacks. The kind of easy, surface-level work friendship that makes long days tolerable. Nothing special, nothing threatening. At least, not yet. The shift, when power starts to scare people. About 2.5 years in, things began to change. I didn't announce it. I didn't push anyone aside. I just got better at my job. Even part-time, I started taking initiative, proposing ideas, building donor relationships, understanding the financial reality of what fundraising actually looked like. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, Janie changed. Her tone cooled. Her friendliness became conditional. Then came the first real red flag. The undermining begins. I noticed I wasn't being invited to meetings anymore. Not social meetings, not general team check-ins, fundraising meetings. Meetings about my area of work. Janie had no fundraising background. None. But she was suddenly involved in conversations I wasn't, even when the decisions directly affected my role. When I gently asked to be included, she'd smile and say, "Oh yeah, of course," and then forget. Again, and again, and again. Emails went unanswered, calendar invites slipped her mind. It wasn't overt enough to complain about, but it was consistent enough to feel intentional. The budget incident. Then came the budget. Janie submitted fundraising numbers that were so unrealistic they bordered on fantasy. I'm talking numbers that would require miracles, viral campaigns, and divine intervention. I privately flagged it, suggested adjustments, provided context. She resisted, dismissed me. Then, during a meeting, she confidently presented those same inflated numbers to leadership. My stomach dropped. So I did what any professional would. I corrected it, gently. I said calmly. To clarify, those figures are still under discussion and may change. That's when she turned to me. Her smile disappeared, her eyes narrowed, and she leaned in, just enough to whisper something cruel that only I could hear. Not loud enough to be reported, not obvious enough to call out, but sharp enough to cut. My face burned, my hands went cold, and I realized something important in that moment. This wasn't a misunderstanding, this was a power play. Trapped and powerless, I considered my options. HR barely existed. My boss, cynical, checked out, conflict avoidant. And me, part-time, lower status, easily dismissed. So I did the only thing that felt safe. I started looking for another job, quietly, carefully. Because when you're being undermined, you don't rage, you survive. The unexpected turning point. Then, something happened that changed everything. A full-time employee on another team had to take extended medical leave. Leadership needed help. I raised my hand. I can cover some of her work temporarily. Weeks turned into months. I proved myself, handled responsibility, delivered results, showed leadership, and then came the offer. They wanted me, full-time. Not only that, they asked me to help rewrite the job description. I negotiated, kept fundraising, kept the new role, and then they gave me an assistant.
My own assistant. The promotion and the quiet revenge begins. I moved offices. Janie stayed where she was, still sharing with 2 other people. I closed my new door, sat down, and for the first time in a year, I breathed. I don't know exactly how much I make compared to Janie, but I know this. I'm above her now, and she knows it too. The gray rock strategy. I didn't confront her. I didn't gloat. I didn't say a word about the past. I simply changed. Now she gets a polite nod, a curt hey, no office visits, no casual chats, emails, and with best instead of thanks. Neutral, professional, uninteresting, no emotional supply, and it drives her crazy. The assistant lunch incident. My assistant is incredible, smart, organized, kind. I hired her, mentored her. One day, I took her out to lunch to celebrate her first few months. As we walked back in, she paused. Could we do lunch more regularly? I smiled. Sure, let's make it monthly. Janie was in the shared office. She heard everything. I didn't look at her, but I felt it. The shift, the tension, the realization. That invitation wasn't for her and never would be. The desperation sets in. After that, Janie changed tactics. Suddenly, she was overly friendly. Too friendly, sharing tiny donation updates like breaking news, fishing for validation, trying to recreate a dynamic that no longer existed. I stayed calm, polite, professional. Every ignored email, every unacknowledged directive, she knows, she feels it, and I never have to say a word. The real revenge isn't loud. It's watching someone realize they lost control. She wanted dominance. She got irrelevance. She wanted power. She gets professionalism she can't manipulate. And every day I walk into my office with my assistant, with my authority, I don't need revenge. I already won. Some people think revenge has to be dramatic, but the truth? Sometimes karma wears a blazer, answers emails calmly, and signs off with best. If this story made you smile or reminded you of someone who underestimated you, hit like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, what's the quietest, most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? Because around here, we don't get mad, we get promoted. Fire.